You are watching the 80s and 90s retro collector.
You're watching the 80s and 90s retro collector.
You are watching the 80s and 90s retro collector.
You're watching 80s and 90s retro collector.
You are now watching 80s and 90s retro collectors.
You're watching 80s and 90s retro collectors.
You're watching 80s and 90s retro collector.
You're watching the 80s and 90s retro collector.
You're watching 80s and 90s retro collector.
We go, WWE 2K25.
Hi, my name is Daniel Egan and I'm an actor, and I was in Star Wars A Rogue One Story. I played two characters, a Death Trooper and a Partisan. And I'd like to say hello to all my fans, and especially 80s and 90s retro collector. Thank you.
WWE 2K25, I won the Royal Rumble. Get in! Boom! The Undertaker. Rest in peace. WWE, baby! Woo! That's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so. You're fired! Boom! The Boom Bar is along here somewhere. What about have a drink in the Boom Bar first? Nice cold Coke. Oh yes. You know it. Boom. Boom.
UFC did wristbands, but I'm assuming they're going to keep it for the weekend as well.
No, I mean Sundays.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just so last weekend UFC didn't do it with wristbands, but WWE asked, so I'm assuming they're going to keep it back.
Queue up, get your wristband for the one, and then you get the next wristband after.
Yeah.
And
I literally I get given what I get given, and that's it. I don't.
and this is 4 o'clock, right?
4 o'clock, so come back at 3:30.
Oh, we can go and then come back?
Yeah.
Could I get one, please?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
I've got enough, don't worry.
Who is it? The Rock that we're going to be meeting? Hulk Hogan.
Honestly, people keep asking me, and I'm like, I couldn't tell because I didn't even know that these are happening.
That's why you're not as excited as me and these guys. We're excited, aren't we, guys? Yeah. Ho! So, today, we are going to be meeting Carmelo Hayes, WWE Superstar. So just waiting to go in now, got the wristband on at the O2 in London. Very excited. Good atmosphere. Gonna get a bite to eat now, cold drink, and then get in there. Enjoy the show, guys.
You are watching the 80s and 90s retro collector.
You're watching the 80s and 90s retro collector.
You are watching the 80s and 90s retro collector.
Boom.
You smell what the Rock is cooking?
If you have a bag when you get up here, we do have people to hold the bags for you guys. You pick it up on the way out.
Hold this for you.
Lovely day here at the O2. Met Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa and Carmelo Hayes. Oh, the sun is lovely. Lovely. Great atmosphere today, guys. Everyone's looking forward to seeing SmackDown here tomorrow night. All good, all good, all good. Boom, 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 you've got me in the room. A few people there said I look like a wrestler. I got that last week as well. Now there are worse things you can look like, isn't there really, than a wrestler. There you go. I don't mind looking like a wrestler. I actually felt quite insulted actually, because I'm much more muscular than a lot of them.
You're watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
Subscribe to 80s and 90s Retro Collector. Boom.
You're watching 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
You're watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector. So come through.
Boom.
You're watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector.
'80s and '90s Retro Collector. Not just a channel about action figures, but a channel where action figures.
Hello, it's me, Brawling Badger, star of Ballymoran, Drained and Essex FBI Investigates, and you are watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector. Have fun and don't forget to like, share and subscribe and enjoy the video.
You're watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector. Come on!
Hello everybody, you are watching the 80s and 90s Retro Collector. Make sure you subscribe. Wah!